Welcome back, guys. Today I wanted to talk to you about the more specific contents of the Dark set cube, which a couple of you asked about, and let's dig right into it. I sorted the cards by color, which you shouldn't do with a set cube except when you want to check if all the cards are still there. So I sorted them by color. Those are all the commons of the Dark. I really only have cards from the Dark set in this set cube. And yeah, let's just look a little into it. Like you see a lot of cards repeat. So I used a website called Planet MTG, which is a German website, but I think most of it is in English, or if not all, just for the checklist. So I know which rarity does each of the cards have. All the cards you see here are C3, which means the appearance rate of these cards were 3 times as high as a C1, which is not as common. So to have like a ratio, I did some math. I can put it up on the screen a little later so that I know how many of the commons and uncommons and rares, which are not rares in this set, but U2s and U3s, I need for my set, so I can play with 8 or even 10 people, I think. So let's see, for example, this Miracle Worker I should have found 9 times. So there are 3, 3, and 3. So these are 9 times in here, mixed into the pack, and each of the cards you see, I hope nothing got lost. I will count it later, but it's not that relevant for now. Right, let's dig into the blue ones, which are kind of nice. I do like the blue cards from Legends, this very dark theme of these zombies. I like that. This ghost ship is really good. I use this as a set cube, as I already said, so this set was not intended for drafting. Draft was not invented yet. I mean, the term draft is like a term which comes from the sport world, I guess. I don't know a lot about sports, but like, yeah. So drafting was not a thing in MTG, I think, until Invasion, where they started like really balancing also the colors and putting some like real themes into it. I mean, for example, the red pile has like the goblin theme in it, so I guess a little, but like the white and the blue stuff is kind of random if you look at them. Right. So I love this card, for example. It's so good in this limited environment. Like, you pay 3 and it's a sorcery, and Ashes to Ashes removes 2 non-artifact creatures from the game, and you lose 5 life points. So you take out the 2 strongest cards on the board and just lose 5 lives for that. That's amazing in my eyes. I think it's also a good or decent commander card, since you have 40 life points. Nice. So, third pile. All of them, as I already said, 9 times in the set cube, since they are all C3s. Also about the sleeves I use the Dragon Shield Clear Matte, not a sponsor of this channel, but there are 100 in there, and I do like the matte finish on the back, which is like really nice to shuffle on the one hand, and also like they're quite durable. In my eyes, Dragon Shield is the best when it comes to sleeves. And I do like the old school feeling of seeing the back of a Magic card when you have like you don't see the back of the Magic card normally when you use sleeves, since you normally don't use any like translucent sleeves anymore, but like colored sleeves, which probably fit to your deck. And yeah, I just like the idea of seeing through the card, through the sleeve, seeing the back of the cardboard. And what that also means, though, is that you have to seek out cards which are not as damaged. Like, you see a white nick here. Let's hope it doesn't have many on the back. So there are 2 little, or 3, 4 little nicks and chips there. Yeah, that shouldn't repeat too often, because at some point you could cheat if you wanted to, but in the end it's just about having fun. So I guess whatever. But yeah, you don't want that to repeat a lot. Like, these are okay in my eyes. You don't really start remembering things when there are like tiny chips there. You could, but I don't know. Like, who would do that in such a fun environment of just playing? This is also a great card in Commander. In this set, I don't remember if it was that good, actually. Because at some point you don't do anything, and then you have this out, and then, I don't know, you play more mana. It is an okay card. This ghost ship I showed you earlier was kind of a big deal, since it has regenerate and it's flying, and it just beats the crap out of your opponents. And just you try to remove it and he regenerates. The only thing that you can do is like remove it with the ashes to ashes and just remove it out of the game. Yeah, this card I mean, and that ghost ship I'm talking about. Flying and regenerate. 2/4 even, man. What a broken card. Am I right? So, already got through all the colors. Now the multicolored cards, which I think were started here in this set. I mean, Legends came before the Dark, but I think the Dark was invented earlier. Like they started working on it earlier. So also the old design, and also the explanation that it counts both as a black and a red card. I think they're all goblins here, and just this Dark Heart of the Wood, which is a great card, in my opinion, in a constructed format. Right. Since you can gain 3 life by sacking a forest. And then there's this Book of Wrath, which I will show you in a second, which can let you pay 2 life, I think, and draw a card, and you have to pay mana or 2. That's great, just digging deeper into your deck. So this Maze of Ith is a C1, which means 1 of these appeared on the print sheet, while 3 of these appeared on the print sheet as well. These are 3 times more common than this one, besides the fact that this is just a great playable card. Those not so much, like those are okay, but like you get the idea. So these are kind of like, today these are rares, right? But like back in the day, this was a rarer common. So let's push those out of the way for a sec. I've also prepared some of the rares and uncommons to look at. Which are those? As well as the artifact and lands. So for the uncommons, you have U2s, which means they appeared 2 times as often as U1s, which are those which appeared only once on the print sheet. So, which means that these cards, if you would open a booster pack, you would get that often, right? So if you opened 2 fasting, you would open 1 Mother's Cry at some point, you know, like on average. So these are the U2s, which were more common than the U1s, which are these, which would today be the rares, if you want to call them that, with the preacher here, who you should know if you like old school cards. I think it's one of the most expensive cards of the dark. I think it's around 60, maybe 80 euros. I don't know the exact price. Right. The blue ones as well. These are the uncommons, the U2s, if you want to call them like that. My cousin played this against me. Man, I had to discard my whole hand. I had like 2 ashes to ashes and stuff. Like, oh man, it was so brutal. Because I didn't draft this card. I was like, it costs 6 mana. When you go to 6 mana, when you reach that, your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand. Why would you even put it into your deck? And my cousin used it on me, and it was so brutal. Oh man. He won that round. I think he even won all the games, or just lost 1 or 2. Played like an Esper combination. Anyways, so these are the rare cards of this set, the blue rares. Mana Vortex, also very unique and interesting card. This one not so much, I think. Sacrificing 2 islands whenever he comes into play, I think. No, he enters tapped, and then you have to sacrifice 2 islands in their upkeep, and when he wants to attack, you have to sacrifice another 2 islands. Yeah. Not that great. He has trample at least. Sadly not flying. What else? Eater of the Dead, for example, also very known card of the dark, is also a U2, which means like an uncommon. What else do we have? Banshee, the Fallen, also so memorable. That creepy face gives you the creeps. I love this. Like, this set is so cool and dark. Like, really, actually, this is so weird. What a weird card. This one I enjoy playing in Commander. In a Azure deck, it's so great. But also other decks that just don't attack, don't have creatures, or attack a lot. Such a great deck. Also very, very well-known card, Frankenstein's Monster. Yeah, those are the rares of the dark, or U1s. Let's see. Those are the commons. This one is also such a weird card, because you have to sacrifice an orc or a goblin to give all your orcs +1/+1, and then you realize there are no orcs in this set, so you give this guy +1/+1, but then he's tapped. He's so weird that he's in there. I don't know if they forgot to add goblins. There are no orcs in there, so that's one of the worst uncommons you can draft in this set. And the rares here, I think those 2 are maybe those 3 are very well known. So Blood Moon, beautiful card. Goblin Wizard, which you can see is used here, but I think the backside was very good. Yeah, just this little nick down there. And Ball Lightning. It is off-centered. Oh man. Oh well, I don't think it's that bad. On the back, if you have your deck like this, you don't really notice it, do you? I don't know. Right. So let's put those aside and look at the green pile. But this bird does not have flying is so weird. I think they errated it to being a bird, and yeah, still doesn't have flying. I think they forgot it. I don't know what they thought. It's not that he would be that strong. His effect is so weird, stopping someone from regenerating. But yeah, Great Mana Dork and weird forest people. And the rares. sad that he isn't a legend. He's so interesting. Also gives you a lot of devotion if you play him in Commander. But like four green is so, it's so expensive, man. I think the most interesting would be this guy who steals artifacts, I think. Yeah. So that's the rares of the dark. Right. Okay. So almost the last pile. So these are the uncommon artifacts. The Book of Rasa was talking about it's 2 mana, yeah. 2 mana, pay 2 life, and then you draw a card, which you can repeat as often as you want, which is so great. Like, if you have a lot of life, you can just draw. I think it's a decent Commander card. I mean, there are so much better cards in Commander today, but if you want to build like a, let's say like a pre-modern Commander deck, this would be your go-to draw card, I think. Oh man, brings back memories. These cards, so great. This card also is so interesting. I can tell you a story about it in a second. Also a well-known card. This also, but it's a little too expensive in my eyes to use. About this sword, by the way, there are 2 artworks. This hair here is, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can see it. This hair, by the way, is not a misprint. Like, it is a misprint, but like it's a common misprint. Like, I think there are 2 versions of this sword, maybe even 3, maybe even part of a hair is missing in another print. I'm not sure about this, but like there are 2 printings, one with hair and one without, but this one is also not worth more since it is quite common. I think it's like 50-50 or something. So these were the U2 uncommons, and there are 2 rares and 2 rare artifacts, which is the stone calendar and the cage. This war barge is a very interesting combo in this set. So for 3 mana, something gains Island Walk, some creature. And it's like, why would you give someone Island Walk? And there's this Merfolk Assassin, I think it's even an uncommon, yeah, which destroys a creature with Island Walk, which is so funny. We didn't play, all of us, my cousins and my uncle, we all didn't play with this set. So we explored the set, and at some point we realized that's pretty good, those 2 cards together. And they're both at uncommon, which means there's a chance you can draft them together. So when you get those cards and you don't play these colors, you try to pick one of the cards to try to prevent someone else to build the combo. That was very interesting. Right, so, and the last 3, these are 3 non-basic lands, which you might already know. This is the most expensive one. It should be around $100, maybe 80 euros. Yeah, I don't know if it's that good in constructed, but yeah, very interesting lands. They're all U1s, which mean they are rarer. Yeah, so yeah, I will put some math, my calculations on the screen, so you can see how I calculated everything and what my thought process was when I put these cards together. And yeah, if you have more questions or any other comments, just leave them down below. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.